To make a long story short, when you talk bad about a bunch of dragon Apep vipers in secret societies, sex cults, and martial arts groups, they use their pre-existing network in your town. And people from out of town come in and they rent cars and so on, and they all sabotage you in a ritual way. They're trotting on the wine place. So basically, they are using their propaganda, deceiver, conniving, devil hiss to try to play off the fact that they couldn't land a deadly hit. Land a hit. Time and distance. How fast can you move? Yeah, but from what distance? The serpent wants you to pretend that distance does not matter because he's a ground-crawling little rat, snake kind of thing, right? Now, when you look at the tale of Jacob wrestling God, right? He was able to beat God because he wrestled him, you know? But later, Jesus came and he said, no, we're not supposed to mix the snake. The snake is the enemy, So at one point, just like with the story of Lucifer, Lucifer's tactics might have had a place. But Jesus came and made it clear that there's nothing but light, okay? And, this is also very hard to understand. It's not that simple, but that's one way to look at it. So when you look at gangsters saying, I'm on some bullshit, right? Apis, the bull, the snake, the dragon, okay, the wolf, the symbol of the Roman people, the dragon, the symbol of the Japanese people, the symbol of Asian people in general, one could argue. The symbol of Japheth in general, one could argue. Symbol of Babylon, going back to their common ancestor, more toward the center of Europe, and that would place them near the Caucasus and Babylon, all this stuff, right? Somewhere in that area. Some people say Afghanistan and so on, but somewhere like that, okay? So when you look at this thing, right? Luke kiss. In Luke, you hear the story of Judah, and Judah betrays Jesus with a kiss. It's also told in the stars, in the heavens, mind, body, and soul. So the Skywalker from the tribe of Judah, okay? Luke Skywalker, Luke kiss, okay? Just like, people have pen names or whatever they're called, right? And they're symbolic of what they believe, like Jordan Maxwell. You understand me? It's from the poisoned well. There's the knowledge is still in the well, right? The water's still there, but it's poisoned. And if you drink it, you die. So half-truths kill souls, and poisonous serpents push half-truths. So when you consider the battle between the snake and the falcon, any challenge that does not allow for the falcon to naturally rise is not fair. All the short people, all the mini-me pipsqueaks who were the kind of infrastructure, the rank and file of the temple, okay, have formed a collective, a snake collective, to snake Judah out of his rightful place. And many of them moved here after I got here. There's a whole temple of them motherfuckers down the road that might be involved. I'm not saying they are. But I do say it's interesting how they wear masks, looking like they're still worried about SARS or something, right? And why was it over there? They were going to put out these, the subway gas, or whatever it was, the sarin gas, over there in their cults. So there's cults all over, and they work in a cult network, and they set the culture behind the scenes. So you have to choose between carrying your cross and having a bunch of serpents giving you a hard time to the point where the whole world hates you. As Matthew 10:22 says, why will you be hated by everyone because of Jesus? Because he understood that there were cults all over the place in the Roman Empire and so on that were coming together to enforce culture. And the word is like a sword that cuts through their bullshit. So when you hear these people say, I'm on some Apis shit, I'm on some bullshit, like a gangster, right? That's some bullshit. Oh, he's on some bullshit versus he's the truth. So my culture believes, we believe that actions speak louder than all the jaw-jacking, all of it. We built the pyramids to reflect that. They are the serpent that believes you have to snake the people who are the top of the natural order. So they say the law of the law of man. Which man? The white man. not the law of the jungle or nature or God, which puts the black man on top. So you have to have the 6 and the 9. And so liberals in secret societies sleep with conservatives in secret societies to seal their alliance. Satanic sects and cults, okay? The 6-9, and they do 69 positions, men and women. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, you know them by they're enforcing the false doctrine, Luciferian doctrine, instead of the true gospel. And they're not going to emphasize the Father and the separation of light and dark and the separation of man and woman, because that brings you to the conclusion that these are Afro-Asiatic people. And this is something somewhat accurate, you know, what people like Bob Marley were saying all along, you know, and all the nice scholars and the hippies who were trying to usurp his movement all came together. And when all is said and done, the Talmudic Jews who Friedman warned us about, a Jew himself. So if you say I'm anti-Semitic, I'm a Jew referring to a Jew in this video as one of the only sources I'm referring to in this video. Okay, I'll put the link of the speech in the comments. He said, yes, there is a Jewish conspiracy, and it has to do with these white Jews and the Warburgs, and they control the bank in 1916 and the Balfour Declaration and so on, the Stern Gang, okay? The Talmudic Jewish bankers and the mafia, you know, Meyer Lansky, you know, Ben Siegel, you know, and then Hollywood, you know, the gangster culture that is with the Italian wolves and the Talmudic Jews that was impressed upon the streets to the point where the Mexican mafia modeled itself after the Italian mafia. The prison gangs have cult symbols, and the black gangs have snake, dragon, and other symbols, so there's Yakuza. And the criminal underworld in general is about snaking and extorting and racketeering and taking our young and conditioning them to think like snakes so they can build their snake empire within. It is a hidden empire, a deep state. It is a criminal underworld collective and a kind of mafia commission that includes every cult and organized criminal structure in the world, trying to usurp the rightful people, you know, who speak the truth or who are naturally put there because they believe in snaking their way into the garden, into the temple, into your wife, mother, daughter. They have them in secret societies, and when you do something wrong, sometimes they have them have sex with the secret societies to make up for it. And when you like someone in a secret society, they make that person have sex with them. You starting to get it? Because they want to feel powerful. They know that that is, they're looking at you carefully and seeing what you're inclined to have. And they want to take that more than anything. That's part of why they want to take my top martial arts challenge, my Viking brothers and everyone else. And I'll tell you like this, you know, Vikings used to give people a fair shake. I don't know where the snake, you know, when you came to Rome, you got confused about your real culture. We used to let the, you know, maneuverability decide, you know, by the sword, the drowning, different competitions that had different military applications and implications. Okay, and then you let these Roman wolves and all these other people corrupt your culture the rest of the way instead of turning to God and making it righteous the rest of the way. So again, I tell you, the snake is the one who makes the argument that the distance and the speed don't matter, and the deeper implications of the strike in sparring don't matter. It doesn't matter. When you look at the old martial arts videos, you'll see the master Albert over in the student, you'll see, right? And then he'll catch his hand or something, right? Why? Because he's showing him, I move better than you do. Try again. That's what my demonstrations have showed them. That's why I challenge you all. Put it in the comments. Show me a link and make your argument as to why you think that person, you know, has done something better than me, or you think he could beat me, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. 15 hits in 1.2 seconds from my boxing range. You know, time, speed, all the falcon versus or hawk versus snake principles considered. And it was us hawks who united the land because the snakes couldn't fight us in natural combat, which they call the law of the jungle, because long ago, before Egypt was desert and desertification hit, what was it? It was a little more plush, right? The Nile kind of makes it like that. And as the knowledge and the spirit and the soul of the people left, and the DNA, the encoding a message, you know, nature at the same time, whether it was reacting or whether it was something God had planned for it to happen simultaneously, or the cults had planned it, that's how it played out. Any questions? So again, they are trying to snake me with their propaganda, devil hiss, knowing that they couldn't land a deadly hit. So it doesn't matter how big the snake is. If he cannot strike the falcon first, the falcon wins. Thank you. Martial arts, and that's part of what the war in Egypt was about. Snakes are impressive. There was a myth that the vipers were the fastest snakes in the world, in the ancient world. That's why Jesus said, "You brood of vipers." They move between 50 to 90 milliseconds. Is all it takes is for them to strike. But can they use their speed when they're too low to the ground? Or do they get trampled underfoot? Okay? Horus represents black people trampling the martial arts of everyone else who were in lower Egypt for necking. People who thought like me. And so he's standing up. Notice he's not wrestling him to defeat him. He's standing up proud, like I won, for everyone to see. And what does the snake do at the end? He concedes his point. His serpent philosophy is inferior, whether it expresses itself through the jackal or the snake. So either die or concede. So what does he do? He goes to the snakes, he goes to the caves and starts lying to the other snakes about how it went and about which philosophy is better. He waits till technology. You see how he's outmaneuvered? You see that? He was outmaneuvered and struck. And every time it was the first strike that defeated the snake. After that, it's just a matter of finishing him off. You see that?
Oh, did you see that?
To the neck.
Put his claw right on his head.
Yep, that too. Any questions? That's why I put the clip of me striking. Remember, they slow down my videos. Listen to what I'm saying. I have 15 witnesses. It's a 9 witness to PSYOP playlist. Go to my playlist. And it says now 15 because in my older videos I refer to as 9. I have 15 witnesses on record and hundreds more off record. Over 10,000 sources. Dehydrated, drugged, fumed. You understand me? You bitches are my lunch. Your inferior philosophy is what's going to allow me to eat. So thank you for being so stupid and training your people to be so stupid so that after all these years, Judah is still in charge. You consider yourselves trampled, your argument destroyed. Now go use your little propaganda snake philosophy. Go tell your little snake sex cults. Go stick your snakes into women and feel tough because you will never, ever be equal to the hawk. You trampled vipers. You brood of vipers.
Here comes his buddy.
You and everyone rolling with you.
Yeah.
Wolves bull with their bullshit propaganda. Their bullshit. The bull that covers the light. Apis Serapis with his Nordic features representing the Greco-Roman alliance with the Vikings. You think I don't know, you serpents? I'm not saying no Vikings are bad. But yes, the other hawks recognize the prowess of hawks and know that I'm right. So let those who think like Jesus and the hawk and walk in the light concede my point. Let everyone else be trampled again and again every time they try to strike like the bitches they are, just like in sparring. You know, one round, one sparring. Every time he tramples them, it represents one sparring exchange. At the end, the hawk wins. The snake might ruffle his feathers for a little while, but the hawk wins. You bitch, you. And he takes off his prize. I took your shit, nigga. What? 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 So I've been in the mecca of martial arts for over 20 years, trying to prove myself while reaching closed doors because of stupid Babylonian social norms that don't allow for the black man to rise fairly and uncontrolled to the martial arts system. And I was drugged, fumed, dehydrated, over 100 victories. Okay, first challenge. When we end in the 20th December this year, it'll be 5 years and 6 months since the first challenge. Over 20 years since my trophy that I showed in one of the last videos. 4 years since my 2013 $3,000 top martial arts challenge, which at one point was $20,000 to symbolize the 20 years. Okay, so what they're saying is tantamount to saying God's warfare is superior to the devil's. The angel casts out the fallen angel for his inability to move, to live, to exist, mind, body, and soul, or mind and soul in this case, as an angel. And so that is why what they're saying is tantamount to saying God's superior, the devil's warfare is superior to God's. When a bull is going to be struck down by an angel, so will Apep. So will any fallen demon or any other big, bloated, low-crawling, ground-fighting, rolling on the ground type of person when it comes to actual combat. When it comes to spiritual combat, the disagreement with the jealous ones is that we're bigger than you. Some of them think that, hey, we're older and bigger, like a big old OG in prison, right? That was the devil's argument.